From the very beginning, when creation was still fresh and pure, there was one being who stood above all others, brilliant, wise, and powerful. His name was Lucifer, the morning star, the brightest of angels. He walked in God's presence, sang his praises, and carried out his commands flawlessly. But beneath that dazzling exterior, a dangerous seed was quietly growing: pride, the desire to be like God himself. Lucifer didn't start evil, he started beloved. That's what makes his fall so tragic. Day by day, he looked at God's throne and began to question. Why should he reign above? Am I not just as brilliant, just as capable? Pride whispered, soft and dangerous. It grew like a shadow creeping across the light, patient, relentless, until it took root in his heart. He wasn't alone. Some angels began to follow him, drawn to his brilliance and his doubts. They questioned God's ways, his authority, his plan. Slowly they became a legion of rebellion, a mirror of heaven but dark and twisted. Then came the day of defiance. Lucifer, filled with ambition and fire, rose against God. The clash shook the heavens. Angels fell like stars plummeting into the abyss. But God did not act out of fear or anger. He acted out of justice and holiness. Heaven could not tolerate rebellion, no matter how brilliant the rebel. So Lucifer and his followers were cast down, stripped of glory, banished to the darkness. The war left scars, not just in the heavens but across all creation. Darkness and light became eternally opposed, not as equals, but as consequences of choice. Lucifer's brilliance turned to shadow. His wisdom became cunning. His beauty became horror. His heart, once capable of love, became sealed in rebellion. Centuries passed, and Satan walks the earth. Cunning, relentless. He whispers lies in the hearts of men and women, offering fleeting pleasures in exchange for eternal separation. He tempts, deceives, and sows chaos. But here is the truth you must understand. God does not forgive Satan, not out of revenge. It's because forgiveness requires humility, a turning back, an admission of wrong. Satan will never bow. He will never acknowledge his rebellion. His heart is eternally closed. Yet this story is not just about Satan, it's about us. The story is a warning and a lesson. Every time we let pride take root, every time we put ourselves above God, we mirror Lucifer's rebellion. But unlike him, we have a way back. Mercy, grace, and forgiveness are offered to every human who humbles themselves and turns to God. Imagine standing in heaven. On one side, the angels who chose obedience, radiant in light. On the other, the darkness of Satan's rebellion, a cautionary tale stretching across eternity. It's a stark reminder. Choices matter. Pride has consequences. But God's love, it remains, even for the weakest among us, while the proudest stand eternally apart. Even in human history, echoes of Lucifer's defiance are everywhere. Wars fueled by ambition, betrayals born of envy, corruption that destroys nations. Every act of rebellion against love and truth is a shadow of that original sin. And yet, every act of humility, every moment of obedience, is a reflection of what could have been, of what still can be. This story is also a story of mercy. Unlike Satan, whose heart is sealed, we are offered a way back. No matter how far we've fallen, no matter how deep the darkness, God's forgiveness waits for the one willing to turn. Every lie we confess, every selfish act we undo, every time we choose obedience over pride, we step closer to the light. Even the smallest acts of humility matter, choosing kindness over anger, honesty over deceit, compassion over selfishness. These choices are shields against the subtle whispers of pride that seek to separate us from God. Lucifer's story becomes a mirror, showing us both the dangers of rebellion and the path of redemption. Think about it. Every time you make a choice, to forgive instead of hold a grudge, to help instead of ignore, to obey instead of rebel, you are walking a path that Satan refuses to take. He is a cautionary tale, a warning that pride can destroy even the most glorious of beings. But we are not doomed. Not unless we choose rebellion too. And that's the lesson. God's refusal to forgive Satan is not a denial of mercy. It is an affirmation of holiness. Sin has consequences. Rebellion carries weight. But for us, the door remains wide open. Every humble heart can return. Every repentant soul can step back into the light. So when you think about Satan, his eternal fate, and the rebellion that changed the course of heaven itself, let it inspire you. Be grateful for mercy. Be cautious of pride. And have faith that God's justice and love are perfectly aligned, even when the mysteries seem beyond understanding. Your choices matter. Every decision, every moment is a chance to choose light over darkness, pride over humility, rebellion over obedience. The morning star fell, and with him, a legion of angels. But we have a chance to rise, to embrace mercy, to live in light. In the end, God's refusal to forgive Satan teaches us the most profound lesson of all. Holiness matters, obedience matters, humility matters. And yet, mercy is always within reach for the one willing to turn. If you love Jesus and believe in God, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this today.